Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ATS Showcases, and today we're going to be hauling some corn from here just outside of Texarkana, and we're going to head up to Pine Bluff today in southern Arkansas, and the reason why it's not showing on our map yet is because we have to dynamically load the corn into this Load King grain trailer today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get our Kenworth W900 started up, and then get loaded up. And the beautiful engine sounds you are hearing today are from none other than the Engine and Transmission Compilation mod, a free Steam Workshop mod that I've used plenty of times in the past, so I will have the link for that down in the description below. Alright, so let's go ahead and get loaded up here. We have to go over to these grain silos over here, actually. This is where we're picking up here at the Evergreen. A nice facility indeed down here in Arkansas, and I'm here in Arkansas today because we are just north of the Louisiana border for a very specific reason, obviously being down here given a recent announcement which I will talk about in just a few moments time. So we're gonna pull around the silos here because I should be able to just drive right into the loading area, which would be the ideal thing, so that it can just go right down into our Load King trailer. So let's get this rig turned around, albeit a little bit tight. Oh, it is going to clear the front end. Don't think so. Nope. So let's do a little bit of a shimmy here and get through. I'd rather do this in reverse into the this loading area. Now, albeit probably should have taken a different route, because this is getting a little tight. Admittedly, I should have come from the other direction, because doing so, we can get a little bit wider here than the way we came originally, and we should be able to come in a little bit more straight. Yes, we can. And this is a long grain hopper trailer. It's definitely not the shortest combination we can do. It's going to be incredibly close on that back corner, but we have done it with millimeter perfection, or precision, sorry. Can be seen as perfection, and there we go. We're already loading up. See if the camera will behave for us. There we go. That's a bit better. So we'll get the front loaded up, and then when it stops, we'll roll forward a little bit more, and we should be good to go, because this is a dual chamber grain trailer. If my memory serves me correctly, it looks like it. So we'll see how much weight goes into it today. I believe it was a good 40,000 pounds at least, I think. Let's go ahead and pull forward a little bit more. And there's the rear chamber. And just like that, we're done. And would you look at that? 42,000 pounds, nearly 43,000 pounds of corn. So my estimation was quite accurate, I must say. So hopefully everyone's doing well. I certainly am. Great to be back here in American Truck Simulator. It has been a little bit, but I have been extremely busy on the ETS2 side with the 1.57 update, which is available for American Truck Simulator now as well. However, the reason why I really didn't do any coverage around here on the 1.57 update for ATS is because, well, to say the update was underwhelming would be a bit of an understatement, at least on face value. So 1.57, generally speaking, on the ATS side here, has only really brought troubles for many players. However, as of recording this video on the full release of 1.57, I have not experienced some of the crashing issues that select players are having. So I am very fortunate in that sense. I understand, though, that is not the case for everyone. We gonna go ahead here. W900. There we go. I'm stuck on the edge of the tarmac. It was really not wanting to pull forward there for some reason. Not sure why. 1.57 has definitely brought a little bit of, well, performance hiccuping and even some stuttering, or at very least crashes for many people. Unfortunate, but sometimes the case with these updates. Very rare, though, from SES Software. Again, I haven't really been noticing so far today in the little bit of just prep I did for this video. Not too much, well, no crashing. However, have noticed a little bit of extra herky-jerky motion, stuff that I've noticed in ETS2 as well. admittedly, I'm also noticing it here. So take it as you will. Unfortunately, I think there is just a little bit of performance issue right away with 1.57. I'm, again, unsure exactly why. I don't really know if it's just a simple fact of the HDR support and some of the graphics side of things that did change, or if there's another underlying reason for it. I guess we'll have to just see if there's an explanation on a fix or whatever it may be. But hopefully everyone is still enjoying American Truck Simulator in general throughout this time, because there is a, well, fairly significant expansion coming very soon. Louisiana DLC is confirmed. It will be coming on December 4th, 2025. Extremely exciting. A long-awaited DLC edition, and a wonderful edition indeed, and hence why we are here just north of the Louisiana border in Arkansas. So very, very exciting. These roads that I'm driving on today will be utilized quite a bit, I am sure, moving forward. Maybe not in the general direction that we're going today, but otherwise definitely will be part of the logistics part for a lot of players, because Louisiana is a very exciting DLC, and there are significant hiccups I am noticing today. Interesting. I think I can agree then. My game is not crashing, but my frames per second have taken a tank, which is very odd, because for those who've been around here for a while, you know that generally the videos here are quite smooth, and my settings have been absolutely dialed. If the game will let me go back inside, thank you very much. This is weird, and now we're kind of stabilizing back a little bit. See, the problem is that I never know at times if it is just the game or if it's my computer. Now, on the ETS2 side of things, there has been a little bit of herky-jerky motion in the updates, but it hasn't been awful. And I've, so far, just kind of put it up to my computer doing updates or whatever it may be, potentially causing the problem. Over here in ATS, I'm starting to feel a lot more performance here, and I really don't know exactly what, because I haven't enabled HDR on this particular display of mine. Or at least I haven't done the full calibration setup. I'm a little bit baffled on what else could have changed, given some of the changelog of 1.57, which was, in honesty, quite minimal. And to clarify for people wondering, the company logo rework here in ATS does not include company paint jobs, because the company paint jobs associated with the company logos that you select for your profile don't exist. They exist over in ETS2. They don't exist today here in ATS. So that's the very reason why you can't find any of those paint jobs, because they don't exist. At least, and I was surprised they weren't added in the 1.57 update. But again, the update really didn't bring anything of great significance, other than HDR support, a few little other fixes, shall I say. But honestly, it has caused more issues than it has benefits. But I should say the one main benefit, 1.57 ambulance, don't do it. Why, man? Why do the AI do that? I have no clue. Oh well. Where was I going with this? Yes, the one main thing that it did bring in is some map updates, primarily for the Louisiana DLC, and some prep for it, because it is the precursor update for the Louisiana DLC. So I really hope some of the general hiccups and stuff can be fixed in the versions of 1.57 releasing around the Louisiana DLC. That would be absolutely fantastic, and there's still a couple weeks for that to happen. However, that is the main extent of that, but let's mainly focus on Louisiana. Issues with 1.57 aside, the Louisiana DLC is confirmed, and the fact that it comes 1 week after the Nordic Horizons DLC releases for ETS2 is in many ways unprecedented and extremely exciting for players who well, cover both games. You're going to have a lot of content and a lot of trucking to do. 2 cruising events, World of Truck events, respectively, 1 for each game. You've got a lot of trucking and a lot of exploring to do, which is extremely exciting stuff. And the Louisiana DLC, as I was going to talk about before getting rudely interrupted by the lackluster game performance, it definitely has some really cool aspects to it. Logistically and, of course, environmentally. So on the logistics side, there are plenty of ferry crossings, and ferry crossings that are just very short and sweet, but incredibly unique, some of which just for certain industries, at least according to the gameplay preview and screenshots that we have. That is very cool. That is a very unique feature and detail level that I am so happy to see. Otherwise, you know, there's the various bridges, movable bridges that we'll have to occasionally wait for. The bridge and water crossing architecture really in Louisiana is bar none. It is incredible to see and incredible to, well, explore, and inevitably whenever we get the chance to. That is going to be really cool. Honestly, extremely cool to see. So I will say this. Now that we're in a zone that I have explored the roads before, it's performing okay, the game. And I don't want to jinx it too much. But for whatever reason, it was really struggling back there a little while ago. I am not 100% sure what that is. Fully about, I should say. But it's odd. Odd to say the least. It's kind of steadied itself back out. We'll see if it continues like that. So again, I don't know if that was just my computer or if that was the update. Anyway, circling back to Louisiana. Again, I keep getting distracted. I do apologize. Game performance is important. Hence why a lot of people are upset. The Louisiana DLC, environmentally though, is something that we haven't seen obviously to date. The quality is insane. Obviously haven't been able to get my hands on the DLC yet. Have to wait till it releases. But it's incredible to see the quality of the vegetation in Louisiana, and if that's a sign for as we continue to move east, we're in for a treat. If the quality keeps going up that much, time after time for these DLCs, I don't even know where we're going to be at by the time, even say when we hit BC for Canada, a few DLCs away now. What are we going to be looking at? It's going to be incredible. Some of the very early screenshots of BC, for example, look amazing. The same goes for Louisiana, obviously, which we're just about to be able to explore. Illinois is looking great as well. South Dakota is even looking good. BC is looking great. The future of ATS is incredibly bright in terms of the map quality. I say the same thing over in ETS2 because it is true. The map quality keeps going up and up. And my hope is that the performance can maintain a similar track and not go backwards. Again, unfortunately, with the 1.57 update, albeit I didn't cover the beta here on the channel, and I didn't really do it in personal time either, so I didn't really notice a performance hit there. But the full release of 1.57 has definitely had some performance issues, as I've already kind of talked about in this game, where it's potentially impacting us, or at least intermittent. And at very least, across the community has definitely had some issues in loading in and so on. I really hope that that is not a trend we see moving forward. And again, it's not normally a trend with these updates, and I sure hope it isn't. And I sure hope it's something that is fixed with the Louisiana DLC coming very soon. We'll have to wait and see. Car, don't do it. Thank you. Just gotta sometimes tell them off and they'll be fine. Tell them off in a nice, kind, and friendly Canadian way by just saying don't do it. Regardless, Louisiana DLC is on its way. That's what I'm trying to focus on, and the fact that it is so incredibly exciting, and the fact that I have a lot of content to do. I have a lot of content to cover over the next few weeks, and it is going to be incredible to say the least. So keep an eye out here on the channel, hop into the community Discord, show off your rigs, chat about these updates in the future of ATS, ETS2, other games alike. Keep an eye out here though, around the channel, because I've got a lot of content coming. My plans for each game, or each respective DLC, Nordic Horizons and Louisiana, the lists were quite long. I'm not planning on modifying those lists. The only difference is maybe the bouncing back and forth between the two games, depending on what's going on. Essentially, what's going to happen is that there will be pretty much all ETS2 content, and then all ATS content, most likely, and then intermixing once both DLCs are out and about. Nordic Horizons comes first, there's a week, and then Louisiana happens. So expect plenty of content in and around, well, the next few weeks, definitely. Depending on when I'm able to get my hands on the Louisiana and Nordic Horizons DLCs, content will then start to move from there. And yeah, here we go. The hiccups have returned. Is it just all the foliage that's causing problems? Because normally it really doesn't around here. I really do not know. I'm starting to wonder if HDR is sorta-ish running, and I'm not noticing, and it's not supposed to be. I'm going to have to check in graphics settings, my friends, and if I figure something out, you will be informed very quickly. I will do a community post on that one if I am able to figure it out. I will do some testing for you, do not worry. Something is odd, because this has now been across ETS2 a bit as well in higher foliage areas where there's more shadowing, and performance has taken a hit. Hopefully it doesn't translate too badly into the video and the recording, but we'll have to wait and see. So to wrap up with Louisiana, because obviously we're going to be talking about it quite a bit, releasing December 4th, incredibly excited, so much content on the horizon here between ATS and ETS2. There was a lot of great stuff coming, and I'll be back into ATS obviously then a lot more frequently. Yes, I've been over in Europe quite a bit because of the content releasing over there, with 1.57 actually being a, shall I say, feature-rich update over there. So many of you can respect the decision to mainly go over there, as nothing really changed over here in ATS other than the aforesaid inconsistency in performance. Unfortunate, but the truth. Now, looking forward with ATS, what can you expect? Well, obviously Louisiana DLC content, that is a fair given. There's going to be a mixture of standard deliveries, potentially long hauls across a state as well, special transport, DLC routes, you name it, it's going to be there. And then moving past that, different mods, different trucks, so on. We're going to get back into the ATS routine here a lot, because I know many of you enjoy the content over here in the United States, and of course I enjoy it as well. So we're going to be doing a lot of content over here, a lot more variety, once again, as we know and love, bringing back some of the series that you know and love as well, and driving some different trucks like we are today here in the W900, a classic for me, at least here in Prime Simulation. I like the W900, of course, with the engine and transmission compilation mod, a absolute piece of gold in the ATS community, I would say, in terms of an engine mod. Completely plug and play, so easy to manage. You don't have to really select different engines. It just replaces default sounds, unless if you want a specific sound, which the mod, the compilation mod, keeps growing. So hats off to the developers, they do a fantastic job. Either way, this Legacy Edition W900 is technically the Legacy Edition, but of course it has some modern features to it, or some different features than the standard Legacy pack for the truck. For example, the bumper is not the Legacy bumper. The interior is the Legacy interior, although it has, of course, the GPS because it's a modern trim package, so on. Split windshield like we know and love. It's a great truck. I do like the Legacy Edition. The Legacy badging is kind of neat as well, won't lie on that one. You know what? I had to put some extra features, modernize it a little bit. Got the VIP paint job on it, or one of the two, or VIT, sorry, VIT, not VIP. Well, it's still exclusive. VIT paint job. This one is the kind of more the matte, metallic-ish blue color, more than the kind of more emerald green color that is also available for it. It's a beautiful truck overall, and we'll be doing some different ones as well, and we'll have to see what happens with Louisiana in the release leading up to it with potential other truck updates as well. I will mention that from what I can tell at least, the main branding of the Louisiana DLC features a Peterbilt truck. I believe it's the 389, I do believe. I do believe it is just that and not an alternate version of the truck. But I will say there could be some Peterbilt reworks, because generally SES software gives us a truck on the card that's one of the newer trucks or one that's been reworked. It's not always the case. Maybe I'm just being too optimistic because I'd really like either a new model of Peterbilt truck or, at least an update of some sort. We'll have to wait and see. That's the long story short. I really do hope that we get some form of refresh on something, even though technically it should be a completely different model name. For example, the 389 or whatever else they decide to do. Because of its age, it should be something new. Either way, I'd like to see a refresh regardless on that brand, and hopefully we do get something. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But again, it is on the Louisiana DLC kind of feature card. Is for the branding. Is that a hint to anything? I sure hope so. We've still got a couple weeks to find out. If not, well, at least it was a nice looking truck to put on the brand card for the DLC itself, and they just had to change it up. So I guess we'll take what we can get. So we should be getting very, very close to our delivery point here. Port of Pine Bluff. Makes sense. Okay, I believe this was going to the Rockport facility in here. So we'll have to wait and see what we get. There's a lot of things bouncing around in my brain right now with the various DLCs and updates ongoing. So trying to make sure my details stay straight is sometimes a bit of a challenge, but I'm doing my best. And I do appreciate all of your patience in my commentary and the various woes of the videos and so on. I do appreciate all the support. It's amazing to see what this community has, well, turned into, looking retrospectively, but also what it continues to be in terms of growth. Incredible. I've said it many times before. I'll continue to say it. Never would have imagined it would have grown to something like this, not to mention continue to grow like it is. And I can't thank you all enough for the continued support here around the Prime Simulation channel. You gotta wait there, Peterbilt. Just three-way stop. Next person that gets their rules. I didn't see any extra yield, so you gotta wait, bud. All right, let's pull into the Rockport, and let's see if we can dynamically unload this joint, or if we got to, if they're gonna hook a grain vac up to our trailer here. Now, admittedly, the tarp hasn't come off yet, which leads me to believe we're probably having to just park it somewhere. So maybe they'll just suck it off of the suck it out of the grain trailer here with like a grain vac or something, and then allow me to take my trailer. I do not know. Guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, there technically are like pits around here, but it looks like we're just pulling right up to the side. Oh, and there is technically, okay, I'll give them credit where credit is due. There is technically a conveyor system that could go underneath, and it goes to go up to the grain lake. So there is technically something that can go underneath the trailer. So you know what? I will give the game a pass on this one. There is a barge here too, by the way, although it's for stone. I'll give the game a pass. We're parking up by, well, what though is normal, looks like a stone capable. Stone conveyor system, but whatever. We're parking by a conveyor system nonetheless, so technically they could put that underneath, and I can't even see out looking around because of the beautiful exhaust stacks on this W900. I'll give it a pass because at least it's somewhat of a... I cut in way too much. Been driving in Europe. Not used to American trucks or trailer turning radiuses at this point. So let's try and get a better alignment here. Easy does it. We don't want to put it off the far side. Crank it back. Use some mirrors. It's not... You know what? It'll do. It's actually not half bad. Maybe not the prettiest, but it'll work. You know what? Can't complain at all. Let's go ahead and shut off the truck, and I will thank you so much for watching this video. 1.57 is definitely a little rough around the edges right now here in ATS, which is surprising for me to say. It's not something that's normal, I would argue, for SEO software updates, but unfortunately the case. A lot of the community is struggling a bit with performance. I have noticed it. As I said, I will look into the performance issues because for myself, I want to try and figure it out, especially if I'm going to be doing first look videos very soon of 2 different DLCs. So I want to figure it out. So I will let you know in a community post, if not in these videos as well, coming up very shortly, what a solution is if I can find it, if it's not just a game update. Inevitably that happens. As always, comment down below how excited you are for the Louisiana DLC, once again releasing on December 4th, 2025. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.